When the ground beneath me starts to shake, I start thinking I just might break. Won't you stop me from thinking of jumping? 'Cause I'm hanging on the verge of something.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. We have a transgender songwriter, singer, actress, and activist, Angelica Ross, with us this morning, and that was one of her original songs that we played at the audio clip this morning, which is a song that was written and sung by her. So good morning, Miss Ross. How are you?
I am just, what I've heard a lot is blessed and highly favored, because I definitely feel that this Sunday morning.
You are a very busy African-American transgender woman. So I want you to tell us now, what are some of the new things that you've been working on in 2013?
Well, yeah, there's just been a lot that I've been working on. Unfortunately, I haven't had the most exciting personal life in the past year, I guess I would say, just because I've been a little bit all work and no play. But, it's a sacrifice, and it's beginning to pay off. I have my company, Myzen Studios, which what a lot of people don't know, the reality is I've been building that business for 10 years. So it's not this thing that just popped up all of a sudden. It's just that business is running a lot tighter and smoother and, just doing a lot better than obviously I was in the earlier times, but I'm still building it. As an individual, I come from a background, I don't have a family with a lot of reserves of money where I have access to capital or...
Well, neither does most of your minority transgenders come from middle to low-income families where there is no help to back them up in transformation or anything of that.
Any of it, yes. So, the funny thing is I found myself having to... Part of the sacrifice was not just, hey, I'm not hanging out with the girls, but also part of the sacrifice was not necessarily being so focused on my transition, doing all the things I would love.
I find a lot of girls put too much time and money into transition and no time into educating the mind and getting a job and getting into the mainstream of society to make a living beyond the sex and the adult entertainment business.
Well, it's interesting you say that because when I started out, I was super young. I was 19, and it just seems like right around the corner. It just seems like, but when I started out, I realized obviously I didn't have the money and the things that I needed to take on all of the different stages of this transition. But one thing that I did know and one thing that I've always stayed true to is there was always, even when things were bad or I was doubtful, I've had my doubts, but deep down inside, I've always known that I always say to myself, I'm better than this. I can do better than this because, when I transitioned, I kind of entered a world where everything that before would seem to be an advantage or whatever, it was just thrown out the window. It was like the girl that, juggled two jobs or that liked to read and that played the piano, that did all these things. Now it's about survival. Yeah. And you know what I mean? And so it was just focusing sometimes on survival instead of, but it's just a game that I learned being transgender, like it's a unique path, but really it's no different than anybody else's path in the sense that we all have to figure out how to maneuver and to overcome struggles.
Yeah,
and
find a way to survive and overcome.
Find a way. And I feel like our community is so brilliant at showing how life keeps finding a way to live, even though we've been attacked, or sometimes we've been silenced, or we've been degraded, we've been all these things. But I can show you, like with a smile, the way that I go through my life now. I'm not carrying any weight. I'm not carrying any animosity, any of that crap. Like,
so what you're saying is, an African American, Latino, or Asian, or minority transgender can survive and overcome if she puts her mind to it, or his mind
definitely.
to it, whether it be male to female or female to male. You just have to find a way and utilize those skills that we all have. We all have something to get over the hump. I agree totally with you on that. Totally.
And my life is magically unfolding right now before my eyes because it's one of these things where I've always known my purpose. I've always known what I wanted to do, and I've always known I wanted to help in the trans community. But, I've been saying that since I've been 19, and so it's been coming out of the words of just a kid who didn't know where to start, or, people don't want to really listen to somebody young and inexperienced. But one thing I realized is that sometimes, your paths are just divinely ordered in the sense that just keep living. Don't worry about how it's going to unfold. Just keep living and following. Following. Yeah, because when I did that, I've been on jobs. I've worked for Applebee's where I've had to, deal with the EEOC and filing complaints through them and being harassed on the job. Or I've dealt with jobs that, when I first started, when I was transitioning on the job where I was fired because the girls didn't want to use the same bathroom as me and, thought that I was going to be, like, looking. I mean, what was I going to be doing? I have no idea, but using the bathroom. So going through all these different stages and then even working at a place like Apple, where Apple for me was the epitome of how companies should act with they have such a strong structure, and I learned how to negotiate my position and give feedback to my employers, which I was scared to do, but Apple taught me a way to be fearless about saying those things that needed to be said. And so having all that experience, now up to a point where my new job in Chicago I just accepted, I'm finally able to announce it and say something. But there's this new project in Chicago called the Trans Life Center, and it's being put on by Chicago House, which is a big organization in Chicago. They've typically dealt with HIV and AIDS, and used to have like a house where, gay men would go to close down their lives that were, and women that were, dying from the disease. So they've revamped this whole program, and now they've turned into the Trans Life Center. And my job is the trans work coordinator. And my job is to help the transgender men and women in Chicago find work. I work with them on job training, to make sure that they're ready to take on jobs. We do career counseling and do things with their short-term and long-term goals, as well as I'll be on the outside working with Chicago-based companies to develop job opportunities for the trans community. So for me, this is, a role of a lifetime because I feel that in every fiber of my being, I love being a musician. I love being on stage. I love being a star. But I know that this role in my life is what is going to make the biggest impression.
Okay. Now, this is a new position that you just got.
Correct.
You'll be helping 9 transgenders who are homeless, jobless. They need a hand. They need someone.
Not non-transgender. This is for transgender and gender nonconforming. So this is specifically for the trans community.
And these are trying to help them to realign themselves in society where they can go to work and get a job, yet be who they are.
Correct.
And work in an environment and a setting that is acceptable.
Correct.
With equality and not feeling humiliation and harassment on the job, but to be able to utilize their skills in a job-type format. And you'll be helping them make that transition as the work coordinator.
That is my responsibility, and I'm so looking forward to it. I'm going to be coming up with, I start on February 11th. I'm going to start hitting the ground running, just developing different programming. I feel, too, since I personally kind of strapped myself up in the sense of, as I started running my Zen Studios, the reason I ran that is because I started that business because I was fired from, I just got tired of being fired from the last job of just for trans-related issues or whatever. So I said, you know what, working online is something that they don't need to know what I look like. They don't need to know half the time what my voice even sounds like if it comes down to it, So I taught myself, one of the big things, which I'm going to give it a shout-out, but one of the biggest things that helped me was this website, lynda.com. And, I tell people all the time about it. It's expensive. It's $25 a month. But that's an investment that anybody, a lot of people can make into themselves. I decided to make that $25 investment into myself, and every month I had unlimited access to a video tutorial library on anything from business to Photoshop to web programming to how to use Microsoft Word or Excel. Just everything that you can think of that you want to learn. So it comes down to, do you want it? How hungry are you for your opportunities? What people need to realize, as we're in this coming out of the trenches of, a down economy and things like that, I find not enough people have this attitude of being hungry for their opportunity.
You cannot stop. That's right.
Being prepared.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And most people are not. I find a lot of the people that I'm working with, the prisoners in the county jails, they're just not prepared for life. They're all about transitioning. I need my hormones. I've got to transition. Can you talk to the social worker? But what are you going to do when you get out of jail? You can't go back to what you did to get here. But if you do, you're going to end up right back here in county for 60 days for whatever crime you committed. You have to stop committing crimes so you don't go to jail.
I think the important thing to point out with this is that, like, for the Trans Life Center, I'm just one portion of the project. The Trans Life Center consists of trans housing. So basically 9 girls will be able to stay in the mansion, or they have, like, scattered housing around, the Chicago area. And then they have trans health, so giving them access to health care. And also trans legal, giving them help with changing their names and doing all kind of other, dealing with legal documents. So obviously, living the trans lifestyle can be very complicated on all sides. Getting jobs, dealing with relationships, everything, health care.
But you can't give up. And that is our message today to our sisters and brothers.
Yes.
It's going to be difficult, no doubt about it.
Yes.
Probably going to be seen insurmountable, no doubt about it. You're probably going to feel alone, no doubt about it. But just press on. With the help of God, you can do it. It can be done.
And you know what? You got to take the dysfunction out of it, because, like you were saying, when these girls are so focused on transition, I got to transition and I need to, what have you. Okay, this is what I really press girls to do. Let's dig our feet real deep into reality here.
Yes.
And the reality of the situation is, this is what I'm working with right now. And I need to find joy and peace right now, and to know that every step of the way I need to enjoy the journey of the transition. And
if that means I only have $500, you cannot go buy $500 worth of hormones and ignore your rent and getting some food and cover your housing. You will find yourself homeless.
Right.
They will evict you because you said, I can't miss my shots. You can miss a shot for 3 weeks if you can have to pay your rent.
Well, the truth of the matter is I've missed the shop for like 10 years. And it's not that I'm, promoting that or anything or saying whatever, but what I'm really saying is that a lot of times what people really don't know, like when I've been running my business or doing certain things or flying here and doing a lot of stuff, I mean, it's kind of just smoke and mirrors, especially when people are paying for you to appear somewhere and do something, they're covering those costs. But literally, I have invested everything, every ounce of my time, every day, every dollar into me as a business, my education, my whatever, as well as my actual business. But that is what it takes. If you want to be a singer, if you want to be all these other things, ain't nobody's going to come around with a bag of money and say, here's your dream, you are a star. You have to be your primary investor. And if you're not willing,
balance. That's correct.
Yes, if you're not willing to invest everything you've got, then how do you think somebody else is going to do that?
Yep, I agree. You have to find a balance between transition and reality.
Yes.
It cannot be all transition with no reality where I have got to do this, get my implants by next week. I've got to go do this. I've got to go get pumped, and I've got to do this.
And that's what makes girls make really bad choices when they feel like they have to do these stuff.
Yeah. They think transitioning is my first and only goal right now.
And that's why, again, I'm so excited because I feel like the Trans Life Center is going to bring that balance. It's because we need help, though, and for the longest time, many of our gay brothers and sisters and lesbians, they it's just ignored and misunderstood. I mean, it's just been too much of a disparity between in our community. So to see somebody standing up and taking initiative and then hopefully creating some sort of model that can be used around the rest of the country, I think it's just a huge step, and I'm honored to be African-American, transgender woman, and being, a part of that, being responsible for, getting our community to work.
Now, you were chosen by the British director Keith Holland to be the first African-American transgender to appear in the first movie that is spotlighting the life of an African-American transgender woman. And that movie is called Heart of a Woman. That's being directed by Keith Holland, starring Daniel Soberley, Rachel Sterling, Elizabeth Rom, yourself, and Leslie Jordan as the 5 leads to highlight minority transgender life. What do you hope that movie, when it's shot, what is your goal of the message of that movie? What would you like that movie, when everybody watch it, if they walked away with one thing, they say, I just watched Heart of a Woman, and what would you like them to say?
I think that my message and my music from the beginning has been kind of just in alignment with the message of the movie, and that's why I was just so excited to be a part of this project. And I think that message is just you cannot, not only can you not count out, never count me out is kind of the message. Like, never count someone out, even when, no matter what the scoreboard looks like. That's paper. We're mid-game. It's not over. Never to count someone out, and hopefully for other people to get that, and then for trans people to never count themselves out. That
never give up.
You never give up. This may be a certain time in your life, but you can get through this.
You can make it. So your whole message in your life as an activist to survive, achieve, and overcome. So you're saying, listen, we can overcome. Stop crying the blues. Oh me. Others have done it, and we, whether you are pre-op or post-op, and let me make that clear, I'm in support of all.
Yes, exactly.
Pre-op and post-op. I am not against anybody. That is a personal decision. Only if you can afford it, you have the money, and it doesn't hurt your living style. Go as far as you can with what you have.
Well, because the point is that you have to take responsibility for your life. So is it society's problem that you were born, it's not no one's fault that you were born transgender, so no one owes you anything.
And that's why I think a lot of the mistake is, I'm in the wrong body and it's up to you to help me fix it. And that is a bad attitude, because county jail saying, I haven't done anything to you. You broke the law. Now, I can't help you trans and you feel you can't get a job. You were evicted last week. You were on the streets and you broke the law. That's not our problem.
But, Toni, what's missing is the next the next frontier. This is what's missing, and this is what's going to be beautiful if it catches fire. Is parents like the parents of Jazz, who confirm that little child from a small age to say, okay, we're going to allow you to be who you are.
Acknowledgement. To say, okay,
yes, because you have no idea how that changes a person from the beginning. They're able to start to build a solid foundation of who they are with their parents as their guide.
But you notice now that most of that is coming from the Caucasian homes. You very rarely hear an African-American mom and dad who will invest their time, thoughts, and efforts into letting the little girl or little boy achieve a transitioning goal with doctors and therapy at 12, 13, 14 years old. That is very rare.
Do you think, though, growing up in a black family, this is how I feel, too. Growing up in a black family, especially the time that I grew up in, 1980s, in the media as well as in the neighborhood, the black man didn't have the best image out there. And so, black women, the famous phrase is, it's hard to find a man. Either he's, in prison or he's gay, basically was the thing. And so to have a kid, and it's like almost connected to those back in the times where you're having a baby in the England times, and they're hoping to have a boy so they can carry on the legacy, and then they have a girl, and it's, okay, we still love her, but it's disappointing. When you're born trans, I think when people feel like you are voluntarily giving up your quote-unquote male privilege, that's hard for people to sit with. It's very,
it is. I find it seems to be a little easier for the female to transition to the male.
Definitely.
It seems to be
a little easier
for a black female, in my opinion, to transition to the male than a black male transitioning into a female.
Well, right now I'm in Milwaukee. I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Have you heard the story about there was just a black African-American trans man murdered?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, here in Milwaukee as a rapper, and so they're not in the clear. You know what I mean? It's not like they're in the
It is hard in the minority community, but I think education, visibility, they can see that. Oh, there's one. Oh, and that's their writing, their singing, their acting.
Do you know how many times I've been asked to live in the closet to keep? Hey, you're better off. Look, you passed. You can just live this life or do this. Or there were different men that I had tried to, that was dating, and they, offered me the world to just keep it quiet and blah blah blah. And that's just, for me, that is not what I feel like my purpose is. What I'm here to do. I know what I'm here to do. Too much, Oprah would always say it, that's my role model, but she would always say, to whom much is given, much is expected. Yeah. And even though, and that's what I want people to know and to know is that, look around, I don't have a lot, but I feel like I do because I'm grateful for every experience.
But you use what you have to the best of your ability. So you take what you're given and you work with that.
Yes.
And you do the best you can with what you got until you can do better.
Exactly.
And when you can do better, you do better. And that's the concept I want all my brothers and sisters to hear today. Strive for better. Strive for higher. You don't have to live this way with someone who disrespects you, humiliates you. You're not nothing. Nobody else wants you but me. You don't have to live like that. You don't have to take it. You can do better. There's somebody who will treat you the way you deserve to be treated. You have
but
to
the
reach
only
out
reason why there
and find
is someone out there to treat them the way they want to be treated is because, again, the lesson to be learned is that it all has to start with you. You're in those situations, a lot of times it's a reflection of you, of your relationship of with yourself and where you're at.
You allow it, and they see you have low self-esteem, you don't want to work, you want to do such and such, so you're attracting those type of people who have low self-esteem, who don't want to work, who are not goal-oriented, who are not respectful, so they see what you are, and you two are joined, and that's what you get. You have to aim higher and start with self. Now, we're getting ready to wrap up, but I want you to tell me, give everybody your website, any projects you're working on, and how can people find your work. So let's wrap it up by telling them where to go if they want to find out more about Angelica Ross. Where can they go, websites, and what projects are you working on now that you want everybody to know about?
Definitely. Well, you can definitely go to missross.com. That's MISSROSS.com. And you can keep up to date with everything there. A lot of the late-breaking news. Actually, we are about to work on the Heart of a Woman music video, so I'm super excited about that. We've decided to shoot that in Chicago, so we're going to get started on that ASAP. And then my business.
Now, Heart of a Woman video is based off the theme song of the Heart of a Woman movie that was written by yourself, correct?
The song was written by me, but obviously the story is about you. So that's how, connected I just was to the story when I started. Nothing is stronger. Nothing goes deeper than. And you can hear a sample, a little snippet of the theme song to see what we're working on at reverbnation.com/Angelica Ross. So that's where you can listen to a lot of music, watch videos. And then as far as my business, you can always go to myzenstudios.com. And basically we focus on web development, web-based apps, graphics, logos, multimedia, video editing. So anything you need, we have a team that can pretty much do everything, anything that needs to be done. But obviously you just have to have the budget for it. And then I have a talentwebsitepro.com, which is sort of my economy line for, I get a lot of people that ask me, hey, how much do you charge for a website? Really when I need to know more about what you need. So I know a lot of people that need websites, maybe they don't have the budget. So you can go to talentwebsitepro.com and start building your website for absolutely free. And then you can just upgrade to use your own domain name with only $7.95 a month. So basically it helps everyone be able to start their professional lives and building a website or whatever for just $7.95 a month.
So to wrap this up, I want everybody to know that Toni Newman and Angelica Ross is telling especially our minority transgender brothers and sisters, first and foremost, we love you.
Yes.
God loves you, and we support you. You can contact us individually, email us or call us, and we'll do what we can to help you. Somebody has helped us, and we want to help you. So feel free to call us. But the message today was to survive and overcome.
Yes.
To survive and overcome, and education is power. So I want to take this time to thank Angelica Ross.
Thank you.
For her in Heart of a Woman movie, which we hope to shoot this year. We are seeking investors, so look us up. And thank you, Angelica, and good luck, and God bless.
You too. Thank you. Have a great Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Just be sure.